and then I'm going to go ahead and set us up to go onto Facebook Live. Alyssa, do you have everything that you need before we get started? Awesome. Okay. Let me just pull up my Facebook so I can make sure that it's working.
Including my Hazelwood shirt, so it's right on par.
Represent.
I threw it on today and I was like, they're gonna think I did this on purpose. It wasn't just a really fly shirt. So
yeah. There are hoodies left.
You're wearing my team swag.
Oh,
you do.
Well, where do shirts come from?
Where did they came from? I got them at a GACC meeting from Khalil. I mean, not Khalil.
Police,
yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he's the only one that has them, but
they're at Center of Life. There's a huge box of them. They are our uniform shirts, but we do give them out to, people that are enthusiastic.
Like me.
Yep.
Yeah, so Miss Andrea, if you consider yourself enthusiastic, we can definitely hook you up with a t-shirt or a hoodie. I think there's some hoodies in there too.
She said she needs one too.
I'm enthusiastic.
Yes.
Enthusiastic. Come get my turkey out, get my sweatshirt.
Miss Andrea, what size? Well, you can email me. Let me not blast your size off to everybody in case.
So I'm not saying my game. I'm a growing young woman.
So you can email it to me, and then I'll make sure I'll have Maurice drop you off one. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the Facebook Live button as soon as I find it. There we are. Let's see if it's going here.
Wasn't sure if you were ready, Kiyomi, my bad.
No, it's okay. Sorry, I'm just, my internet's a little slow at home, so I'm just trying to get the Facebook Live thing to go here. I think it's trying to go through my personal one instead of Center Life. So I apologize for the technical difficulties. There we go. I'm sure my friends would also love to see the wellness workshop, but we want to get it out to our targeted our audience here. My friends in Venango County will be like, I don't know what this is, but that's awesome. Should be ready in 2 seconds here.
It's saying it's now streaming.
It is? Okay, awesome. Okay, so hi everyone. So it's Kiyomi and Devon here with Center of Life. And we're really excited to bring Alyssa Lyon here with Green Building Alliance. And she's going to be talking to us about this really exciting leadership and advocate training workshop that they're doing with residents of Hazelwood, the Hill District, and Homewood. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Great. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to my friend Alyssa here, and she's going to walk us through the program and what that entails. And then if y'all are interested, how to get involved with that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kiyomi. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Hazelwood residents, Hazelwood community. So excited to embark on this process, on this curriculum, on this project with the Hazelwood community. It's near and dear to my heart. Once again, my name is Alyssa P. Lyon. I am the Sustainable Communities Director at the Green Building Alliance. Wanted to come here to talk to you today about a specific, very awesome opportunity to work with the Hazelwood community, Homewood, and Hill District communities on this climate change, health, and equity 3H community partnership. As you can see here, all of our partners are listed on this very first page. But as we get further into the details of the program, we'll see where those partners plug in. So once again, thank you so much. Thank you to the Hazelwood community for having me. And we're really excited to talk about the 3H community partnership, which is launching this Saturday, November 14th at 10 a.m. Intake forms and inquiries will close tomorrow at noon. So if you're watching this and if you're interested, you still have time to sign up before we kick off on Saturday. All right. Myself, as you know, my name is Alyssa Lyon. I am one of the co-creators of the curriculum. My partner, Dr. Shannon Tharp-Gilliam, is at the Homewood Children's Village, and we are the team, we are the curators, and we are the carriers of this curriculum that we'll be delivering in these 3 neighborhoods. So this idea that things are happening to melanated communities, things are happening to Black and Brown communities at extreme alarm rates. And there has been nothing more telling than how we've been reacting, how neighborhoods and communities have been pivoting and adjusting and reacting to COVID-19. It's evident that climate change is an issue. It's evident that equity is an issue. It's evident that all the systems at play that are supposed to make our communities better are kind of working against and not working for the betterment of our communities. And so how do we have these conversations? How do we talk about issues that are plaguing our communities in this very real systemic way? The climate change, health, and equity programming, just to give you a tiny bit of background, Homewood Children's Village, in partnership with the Green Building Alliance, received $100,000 to work on a planning grant in Hazelwood, Homewood, and the Hill District, delivering information, developing an implementation plan that will help us advance the work at the intersection of climate change, health, and equity. In April, at the height of COVID, we received an extra $50,000 for our planning grant to continue our work and to also incorporate pivotal solutions to help address some of the issues that have been brought on by COVID-19. So how do we advance the work at the intersection of climate change, health, and equity? Climate change is not happening around us, and it's not happening without us. It is happening right now, and it is happening to us. And so how do we make sure that those experiences, and we get to highlight the intersections of those experiences for health and equity? How are we examining our environment and how that weighs on our bodies, how that weighs on our health systems, and affects essentially everything that we're doing day to day? So Dr. G and I came up with this really wicked, awesome curriculum. The idea is to recruit 30 community leaders from the communities that we mentioned here. So we said about roughly 10 leaders from each community to recruit them, to increase the knowledge. So we created this curriculum. We're expanding partnerships that way by having cross-community conversation. I think sometimes if we're not crossing rivers and we're not crossing bridges, we think we're not experiencing the same thing. And we wanted to have these communities come together. So we wanted to increase their impact and their effort, but as well expand partnership and get us thinking that, okay, some of our experiences are the same. How do we tackle it as a collective? At the end of this planning grant, and hopefully as we move forward for implementation grant funding, we want to advance policy. Yes, at the end of this, grassroots community members will be creating an actual piece of legislation that we will spend over time putting forth, getting through, getting people to see it, getting people to see the work that you've done. And hopefully what will come to fruition is grassroots legislation and creation. And what an honor that would be to do that with these 3 communities who have witnessed years and years and years of disinvestment, been devalued, and have seen the effects of displacement and gentrification in their communities. Once again, we're recruiting 30 people, residents, nonprofit staff that start from 15 all the way up to 101. So the joke is, if you're 102, you can't get in on this program, but we are opening this program up from boomers to Gen Y to Gen Z. We want to make sure there's a range of experience happening throughout this program. And so we're recruiting from to young to old, whatever's in between. We want you there. So if it's interesting, consider dates, the commitments, think about the benefits, and let us know your decision. We're going to dive deeper into the curriculum right now. So once again, the program will kick off on Saturday. These are some of the dates. They are scattered. The idea is that we have some on the weekend, but we also have done some over the day. We didn't want to take over 12 Saturdays. We didn't want to take over 12 Tuesdays. We wanted to make sure that this was palatable and also feasible for people who are working every day, who still are essential workers, who still have to go to work, and who still have families and people to take care of. So these are our program dates. Just give you a second to take a look at those. Starting in November, ending in February, we asked for a nice 4-month commitment, about 3 dates per month, which shouldn't be overloading too much. Now, here comes the best part of this program. It's actually the curriculum. We decided we needed to do a lot of compounding effects in the curriculum to really get to the root of what the intersections of climate change, health, and equity are. We took a little bit of trauma-informed urban development. We took this new legislation as racism as a public health crisis. We were asking, what are our public Black elected officials doing? We're asking, what is eco districts? And we're taking all of that and putting it into this curriculum. As you'll see, for the first 6 weeks, we will be talking to the residents of the program. We're doing a partners listening tour where we ask them, we do a SWOT analysis of their neighborhoods. We ask them to review and read their neighborhood plans. Fortunately, all 3 of these neighborhoods do have potential and codified neighborhood plans. We want them to review that and actually get inside what is in that neighborhood plan. We will also be doing warm data labs and people need people labs throughout the curriculum, where we'll be talking to our residents around the relationships that they have with things, the relationship with their cell phone, the relationship with their house, the relationship with their neighborhoods, and how that affects you as a person. How does that affect you showing up? We want to show that people are intersectional, people are complex, and it's not just about being Black. It's not just about being from Homewood, but it's about your socioeconomic status. It's about your education level. It's about how many brothers and sisters you have. It's about how you walk through the world and how we can better understand each other as they walk through the world as that complex human being. We want to make sure that these communities understand that we are all walking through life with different issues, with different burdens, with different contexts, and that's what the Warm Data Lab will do. Next, we'll move on to racism as a public health crisis, which was introduced to council, I believe, earlier this year or late last year. We'll review that. We'll also review trauma-informed urban development. What is trauma-informed urban development? A lot of people think that if they're progressing the neighborhood, that that's a good thing, but sometimes urban development can be traumatic for people who already live there. Can you imagine one time it was a school, and then in 10 years, it's a green patch of grass, and then in another 10 years, it's a new building. For people who live there, that can be traumatic to see the transformation of their neighborhood, especially if they haven't been involved in it. Week 4, we want to talk more about racism as a public health crisis, but as it pertains to COVID, right? So many extra phenomenal things have happened during COVID. We want to talk to communities about their experiences with COVID. I know specifically in Hazelwood, it was amazing how the community development corporations and the other organizations in the neighborhood and the residents came together to make sure that the food systems were up and running, that children got the materials that they needed to participate fully in school. There was a technology drive. And so how are communities dealing with racism as a public health crisis on top of COVID-19? That should be a robust conversation that we're looking forward to. In week 5, we're going to bring in Black public elected officials to talk more about legislation, to talk more about health equity legislation, specifically in Pittsburgh, and to talk more about that racism as a public health crisis legislation. There, we will also do an analysis workshop of other grassroots legislation efforts that have taken place across the country. What we want to do is incite this idea that this is possible, and look, it's being done across the nation, and we can do it here as well. Further on, we're going to review the community organizing and advocacy toolkit, where participants will learn how to be better advocates and representatives of their neighborhoods. Such a cool kit that will be provided to you. We'll even go one step further. If you guys are paying attention to the sustainability world, or if you sit in meetings, they love to use these large words of UN SDGs and eco districts. We want to make sure that you know that language as well. So we will be doing a special training around UN SDGs. Now, be mindful that we want to make sure that the participants in this curriculum, they know the language that the funders are speaking, that they know the language that people who come into their neighborhood are speaking. That is the goal of this, to make sure that you also can have the conversation as well. Sometimes as we're going through planning, there's a barrier because the language is not uniform, the language is not palatable for residents, and we want to make sure that we're doing that. And so you'll see in these last 6 weeks, it's a lot more structured curriculum outside of some of these other tactics that we're taking in the first 6 weeks. So you'll learn more about the 17 UN SDGs. You'll also get access to the Eco Districts prep course. Along with access to the Eco Districts prep course, you can also become Eco District certified. I am Eco District certified. This is also another fancy planning term that's been thrown out a lot over the last couple of years. If you need any examples, Millvale is an Eco District. Larmer can be, labeled as one of the places that have also done eco district work. So we want you to make sure that we get you in that prep course and access to certification. And that access to certification gives you access to the website, gives you access to training, gives you access to other materials and other professional development opportunities that you otherwise would not have access to. Some other things on this curriculum that are not included, we will be having a data conversation. We also will be having a technology gap conversation and how it pertains to equity in COVID-19 right now. As we do have a range of ages, we will stop right here and talk specifically to the youth, talk about their experiences. Hopefully we can get them to do some kind of project or art presentation that will help them help us understand how much they understood throughout this course. We also think it's important that youth and adults are in the same room. We often divide them because we think they're learning different or we have to be at a different speed. And one thing that we've done, because we did this curriculum with Learn and Earn students over the summer, is that they very much have a lot to say, and they too should also be in the room. We will also be working with Women for a Healthier Environment and Cancer-Free Economy Network to do a workshop around cancerous materials, talking about and engaging with your home, interacting with your home, what things are literally in your house killing the body. And then week 12, we'll go back again, we'll review the neighborhood plan. It's all about a return to the neighborhood plan, because that is where residents have codified what they need. They've talked about what they desire. They talk about what they want to see. And we need to keep coming back to that to reinforce that communities already have a good idea of what it is that they need to thrive, to reinforce that these things exist and to build on it and actually leverage it to push our legislation forward. What are we asking of you? All right, so join us each week for the 12 workshops. 12 workshops is not bad. Prepare by reading program material for each week session. Each week probably won't have program material, but we'll give you as much as we can. Touch base weekly to confirm participation in the upcoming session. So if you're in Homewood, You will be hearing from the Homewood Children's Village. If you're in Hazelwood, you'll be hearing from Center of Life. If you're in the Hill District, you'll be hearing either from the University of Pittsburgh Community Engagement Center, or you will be hearing from the Hill District Consensus Group, asking for feedback, asking if you're gonna participate. It takes a village for this to run, and we're gonna make sure that we have a village set up for that. We want you to complete surveys. This is an inaugural program. So we want to get as much feedback. We want to get as many metrics as we can in order to make sure that A, this is successful, and is it replicable? We do hope to package this and disperse it to other neighborhoods that are also in need of this education, that are also in need of this knowledge and partnership building. So we're excited about the expansion, the potential expansion of this curriculum, and basically be an active participant in learning and community planning moving forward. We're hoping to reach a larger group of people in the neighborhood. I know we hear the term so much that when we go into neighborhoods, we're engaging kind of the same kind of folks who want to be engaged. And we're looking to draw out more community leaders through this engagement education process. And I think we can definitely be successful in that. What do you get in return? All right. Finally, we got to the point where it's like with them. What's in it for me? And I got you right now. Dr. G and I, we thought long and hard about this. Not only do you get a FedEx Kinko packet printed with all the materials in there that's going to be mailed to your house, top-notch service. You also can get up to $460, which is $15 an hour for participating in this program. Yes, 12 sessions, $460. I mean, there goes somebody's Christmas gift money right there. We also have bonuses for participation. If you attend 80% of the program, 90%, 100%, there are $25, $50, and $100 bonuses respectfully, all right? Other things you'll get in return are the scholarship to the Eco Districts training and certification, but also a chance to vibe with dope people that you probably otherwise would not have got a chance to meet in your life currently. So we're really excited. The part of this that's important as to why we're paying participants is we often burden residents with fixing the systems, fixing things in their neighborhood that A, they didn't fix, and that is not their issue to fix. We want to make sure that participants and residents specifically know that your time is valuable and that your knowledge and your experience is also valuable. Whatever Dr. G and I are bringing to the table is just as valuable as what you're bringing to the table, and you should get paid for your participation that reflects such. All right, so the next steps here for us, fill out the program intake form. Once again, like I said, that'll be open until tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon. There is a program expectations agreement that we'll go over in the first day of our curriculum, which is this Saturday. Review the program schedule that I kind of had up here earlier. Review the program packet, watch your email for program updates, and reach out to myself or Dr. G with any questions, comments, and concerns. But most important, which is really excited as we're heading into the winter months. It's dark, it's 5:30. I want to take a nap right now. We want you to get excited to be interacting with other people. People need people right now more than ever. Get excited to learn new things. Get excited to learn more about your entire existence or what's happening with you. Climate change is real. It's happening to all of us. Just to give you just a little bit of an idea, a majority of the people on this call do live in environmental justice communities. The water that you're drinking, the air that you're breathing, the food that you're eating, the food desertion, the transit desertion, those are environmental community issues. Become a leader through this education program, through this curriculum, get paid for it. And that doesn't stop there. Once we go out for implementation grant funding, we plan to return back to these communities, engage those same leaders, and continue pushing forward the new piece of legislation that you've created. So we're really excited about this program. Thank you once again to Center of Life for letting me to come here to come talk about it in one of my favorite neighborhoods in the city. And I really do hope you guys sign up. I will drop the intake form here in the chat, just in case anybody is inspired and would like to fill it out right now. But that's all I have. Thanks, Kiyomi. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we do have a couple questions, if that's okay. So there was 2 questions just around participation. So one question was, if you don't live in either of these 3 communities, how can you help in this sort of area, and how can you be involved in these sort of topics?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had a couple of people from like Penn Hills, Rankin sign up. What we do ask them is, do they have any connection to those 3 communities? Some people say they work there. Some people say they play there, they love there. We will ask you specifically if you would like to participate in the program on behalf, as an advocate, as a co-conspirator, as an ally of the 3 communities. So you won't be able to come in there and talk about Penn Hills. And so we're good. We have a way for that to happen.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I think that sort of answers the next question was, for example, if somebody worked in Hazelwood, would they still be able to apply for the program? So I think that answers that.
Yes, absolutely.
And then the last question that we had in the chat too was just about, is all of this, oh, we have another one. Is all of this virtual? Is any of it going to be in person as of right now?
So right now it's all virtual. The idea was for it to be in person, but with COVID, we're gonna try not to do that. The idea is, if down the line, we were hoping January, February, if we were out of this, but with the new presidency, we probably will not be. So it is gonna be all virtual. I forgot another perk for this. On the weekdays, we will be working with our community partners to deliver food to you and the participants during these sessions during the weekday. So if it's a Saturday, you won't be getting any meals. So we will also be doing a participant survey to see how many people are in your household, so that we're not just feeding you, but we're feeding participants in your household as well. Because we recognize asking you participate at 5:30 falls right smack. I'm going to drop the intake form 1 second. Right smack dab at the beginning of when people will be preparing for dinner. So we will be providing dinner during the weekdays as well.
Great, thank you. Another question we had is, when will this maybe be expanded to other communities other than just the 3?
So our implementation grant is due, a draft is due in January, and then the actual grant, I believe, is due in May. So we will find out if we get funding to actually put this, you know what? I don't even think, like, if we don't get additional funding, that we won't package this to be replicated elsewhere. So I think what we need to do, and so I would think by next summer, we should have something packaged, because what we need to do is see, hey, is this successful? This sounds great, and it's really cool. And people probably would have walked away with this with just $460 and some free meals, and it might not have any impact at all, let's be honest. But if it does, we want to take those metrics, we want to take that data, we wanted to also tweak it for those neighborhoods. McKees Rocks, Clareton, they might not have the same kind of concerns. So we would want to walk through the curriculum with those specific neighborhoods, alter it, and understand that not everything can be blanketly applied to all neighborhoods. That is the problem that we're having in some development areas, is that if we think it works in A, it's going to work on B, and B is a totally different letter. And then the same thing with these neighborhoods. Right now, why we have it is because, let's be honest, 3 predominantly Black communities, 3 environmental justice communities, 3 communities that are experiencing some of the same things of development happening around them and not necessarily to them, and conversations happening around them, not necessarily with them. So we want to make sure that this is successful. our priority are these 3 communities first. And so that's why if we do implement it and we do get further down the line, our return is to come back to these 3 communities, make sure that works. So hopefully by next summer, next fall, we'll have an actual package, an actual curriculum that we can say, hey, McKeesport, Clarendon, Rocks, West End, North Side, here's this great education packet that you can have and just kind of disperse amongst your community. And hopefully we can start outsourcing the curriculum and do it. Hazelwood is half and half. It's not predominantly Black, I believe. And so, yeah, the idea is that we can package it hopefully next summer or next fall, because we want to get it out of the way this one good time.
And it looks like another question was just, how many people were you looking for per neighborhood?
We were looking for 10 per neighborhood, because we thought with the 30 leaders we thought we were going to recruit, we can get an even number. But that number might be 7 in Hazelwood, might be 12 in Homewood, and it might be 11 in the Hill District. It's all fine as long as there are participants in those neighborhoods. And right now we do have 5 or more participants each from each of those neighborhoods. So that's really good.
That's great. Does anybody else, whether you're watching at home on Facebook or here with us in Zoom, do you have any other questions? And Alyssa just dropped the intake form here in the chat, and then we're going to post it here on Facebook Live, so all of our friends on social media also have it. Okay, last minute questions going once, going twice. Okay, thank you so much joining us on your day off. Thank you for being here in this space with us and just being able to offer this really robust curriculum and being able to give a space for people in these communities to be able to become leaders and advocates and have their voices heard. It's just so important, and we really appreciate you spending this time with us and offering that space.
Yeah, of course. If you guys need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, alyssal@gbapgh.org. And I appreciate you taking the time and having me here. Community is where it's at. So let's make our communities better.
Agreed. Okay. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you.